We also spend this much for Starbucks too. Wink, wink.
I
don't know if you're getting the message here, but
it.
just saying.
Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Juhi.
My name is Hamza.
And in today's video, we're going to be talking about what we wish we knew before marriage.
And these are in no particular order, so watch all the way through so you don't miss anything. Stick all the way through to the end because these are all very important.
Yes, very much so. This is things that I wish I knew before marriage and also things that are really helpful to sustain a good, healthy marriage. So the first one is don't feel obligated that you need to involve everyone to your outings. And I don't know, for some reason I had this weird obligation. I'm not sure why, maybe as an older sister. Like I just felt like if my siblings wanted to come along, I would just always tag them along. Or I would take the outings that we would do as like with family as our like us time when that wasn't sufficient. Like it didn't give us enough time to get to know each other and what we like, what we dislike, and just quality time in general. I wish that we had more us time to get to know each other in the beginning phases, because after that point, I think things kind of just get kind of busy a little bit.
Don't have to include everyone right after you got married. Personally, like on the flip side, if I was on the opposite end, this couple got married, do not bother them for 72 hours minimum. Maybe 10 days. Like, just do not call them. Just leave them be. You don't have to invite every single person or invite anybody else to y'all's gathering. Have your quality time. Enjoy one another. You two are married. Enjoy yourselves. You deserve it. Moving on.
Okay. The other one is be happy before marriage. What I mean by this is if you think this other person is going to fill that like void of like love or like some likeness toward yourself, like if you have insecurities and you think now that you're marrying a man that those insecurities will go away, it's not true at all. They'll still be there and it might even get worse because you're just like, whoa, why isn't this actually helping me? Why don't I feel like totally like filled with butterflies and like my heart should be like full, if that makes sense. So this is kind of like what I wish a little bit, like I had gone to therapy ahead of time. Not that I had the idea that my husband would feel that. It was more I wasn't ready for how much more insecurities would come out during marriage. So if I had more of like a precursor.
I don't think that's gonna pick up.
You don't think so?
I hope not.
We have construction, so sorry if that comes in the background. Please seek therapy in general so that you know that there might be some background things that you might not have known, and if you get that addressed, it'll be much easier and smoother sailing in your marriage.
Yeah, love yourself and like accept yourself for how you are.
Yeah.
And before you take on looking for a spouse, because no amount of reassurance will actually like help with that, because you're always going to be putting yourself down. But on the same time, it's like, understand in marriage no one's perfect, and some people will have insecurities, and that is your job as the spouse, is to be there to support them with checks and balances on that. It's like, yeah, make sure that you do your work, you do your work, you feel great about yourself, like you're doing what you can. And the other one should be there to support you and just reassure you that yes, you're doing the best you can and that they love you no matter what. The
next one is investing too much in the wedding planning itself instead of the actual marriage. If any of y'all are desi out there from a desi background, but you know, people wait for this day. Like the biggest day of our life is the wedding day. And of course it's fun culturally, yes, of course. However, financially, it's crazy. Like, it's not worth it. And if you could somehow convince your parents to dull it down, like really small, intimate gatherings, that will save you a lot of headache, a lot of stress. Like, you don't need all of that. Alhamdulillah, we had somewhat of a small wedding, but even then—
That was small?
Yeah, that was small. I wish we were even smaller. Like, literally just nikah, paperwork, like a little home gathering of food. That's it. Like, that's all I wish there was. But there's a lot more, and alhamdulillah, I'm really grateful for those things. But again, it was a lot of stress, a lot of headache.
Yeah, when she said like keep it simple, like all the sheikhs say like you must keep it simple and everything like that. My family, we're not like of desi culture, but we're like, yeah, like we're gonna keep it short and sweet. You go to the masjid, have the wife, have her dad, have two witnesses.
Yeah.
The sheikh gives us a quick, this is why you're getting married. Give the little lecture. Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him said this. In the Quran it says this, so and so. I hereby stand by you till death do us part. Allah's my witness and all this stuff. And then khalas, you're married. Sign your day. That's it. And then that's it.
And instead use that money for like the couple itself, for their future. The next one is do not involve family members in your arguments. This one is really important. I really wish I actually seek marital counseling during this time, because once you get married, right, there's like some things that aren't meshing really well together, and there might be arguments that arise and you don't know what is going on. Like, it might be really hard to actually sensibly understand logically what's going on if you're like emotional about the situation. And of course, like, usually as women, we like to talk through our emotions. We want to tell our friends, we want to tell our family, we're like, why is he doing this? Like, what's going on? Like, I don't understand why we're having so many arguments. It's so much better if there's a third party that is out of the situation that could explain these things scientifically to you and give you easy, simple solutions that make it so much easier to understand each other. The reason why is because, and you'll forget a lot of the arguments because you live with them, you have that love and mercy between each other. However, the people that you tell, the family members, your friends, they won't forget these arguments. They might have a tainted view now of your spouse. You do not want to change that reputation of your spouse. That you guys are like the garments to each other, and you conceal those faults. Yeah.
The three things that I was gonna say is, when it comes to an argument, is that really helped. Do not go to bed with an argument not settled yet. Like, drastic consequences can happen in the morning. Number two, my mom she showed us on a refrigerator, there was like 10 rules of marriage.
Oh, yeah, that's cute.
And it was adorable. Like, I took a picture, but I don't remember them all by heart. But one that I do remember is, if one of you had to win an argument, let it be the other one. It's just like, bro, like, don't even. Nice. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I mean, it's like, now you got nothing to prove. It's like, hey, like, you know what, I'm sorry. Like, I'm still here for you. Like, it's like, hey, like, we'll work through it. Seek therapy. Therapy is not a bad thing. I mean, and it doesn't sound like, oh, if you have therapy, you're going through like such dramatic issues. Like, oh my goodness, why would I need therapy? That's another guy thing too. I think it's just like
I'm from like a psychology background. My degree is in psychology, so yeah, I tried to educate him as much as I could, being like, it's not that serious.
I'm more logic. I'm an engineer, so I'm just like, things need to work. If it's not working, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, just
perfectly to the next point, which is, it's you both against the problem, not you both against each other. That one is really important, because at the end of the day, like, when we would have like some, like, you know, marriage quarrels, as Hamza puts it.
You will have those.
Yeah,
as great as you get along, they will happen.
Yeah, you will have some marriage quarrels, and at the end of the day, even if you're really pissed off at each other, like, you just gotta swallow up that ego, that pride. You're literally gonna come back to that house, you're gonna come back to that person, and what are you gonna want? Like, to be annoyed at them? What you would like is just to hug it out and be like, okay, let's just, you know.
When I'm like annoyed or anything like that, or when we have like these discussions, like, you want to talk it out like right there and then, but my headspace is like clouded, like in annoyance. It's where, like, I do not want to speak right now because that's the emotions kicking in, and I do not want to say anything that I can't take back. You're angry, you take slowly, like, shaking up, and like, you're really, really mad, and it's like, once you open it up, it's like, now it's like, you can't, the whole mess is gonna happen. Just wait, let it sit for like half an hour, just like open up, and you won't have a mess. Like, things will be more clear to go. So
set boundaries in sense of like things that bother you and things that bother the other person, and then let that be known. Like, verbally say, this is not what I like, and maybe even use a code word. Like, for me, we'd sometimes do play fighting. He would get really into it, you know, and I would be like, oh my god, like, he doesn't realize I'm not that strong. And I'd be like, bro, I'm serious, like, stop. And he didn't really get that was actually like me being serious. He thought I was joking, and I was like, no. And then I had to let him know, this is the code word. When I say I'm serious, that means done.
Stop.
Literally
shut it down.
Stop, and that I'm really annoyed and I'm really upset. So then now that he knows when I'm saying I'm serious, he's like, okay, she's serious, that's it. Like, with whatever.
Have that conversation for sure. Like, with anything, it's like, yeah, if I use this phrase, stop it. Like, real talk, stop it.
With that in mind, also know that the other person might operate in a different way. As Hamza said, that Hamza needed space before he could talk to me, and I wanted to talk immediately. So there was something that I learned in therapy where it was like, before you discuss anything, check in with your partner. Hey, can we talk about this? And if not now, when? So that way it gives peace of mind to the person that wants to talk, that they know, oh, we have a set time of when we're gonna talk. And the other person has the time to recuperate and then can think with a rational mind. So that is one thing that helped us so much through our marriage. Learn to compromise. and don't be selfish. And try to be selfless. Before marriage, I didn't actually know what that meant. I didn't know what compromise meant at all. Did you know what it meant?
It's like a give. I knew compromise like it's a give and take, like meet in the middle.
Yeah.
But
like,
what does that mean to meet in the middle? You may say. I said the same thing. Elaborate.
Well, it's like, for example, if you love to play games like crazy, like video games, and you know your wife is like, hey, like we need to go to bed and have a cuddle session. Then it's like compromise, you know? When you're single, sure, you're gonna have that whole time to go crazy on video games.
Fellas, retire from the first person shooters. I tell you, your life is gonna be so much better.
Yeah, so something like that, that could be a compromise.
I quit a year ago and I just feel so much better, man. It's not worth it.
Spending quality time, actually state what is quality time to the person. Like, what is quality time? Is it that you guys are chilling and watching a movie? Is it that you're in the proximity of each other and that's quality time? Or is it that you're actually going somewhere else and you have a good mood about it? Like for me, I like to go out somewhere, like anywhere really, as long as we're talking to each other, we have a good mood, then I think that's quality time.
Yasser Kahdi, he said men and women have two different definitions of time. He's like, men, we think of the dictionary definition, like I spent 8 hours a day with you, you know, like the actual dictionary terms of time.
Yeah.
He's like, women are like, no, like quality time, like you actually took me out. We actually went somewhere together. We spent time. We went to go see the scenery. That's quality time. So like just note that down. Like that's what time actually means, and actually put effort into making that time. Life will be a lot better, and your wife will be a lot happier.
Have that time spent. In psychology, there's a thing about filling filling the cup, like with love and attention and things. And then after, you guys could separate and do your own thing. But you know you put that time into your marriage and to each other, so you're good. Time for each other's families. That one's really cool because it kind of gives you a sense of where they were brought up. Because we're from different backgrounds, also like different like cities, so it's kind of cool to see how the family functions differently. Or are you laughing?
I'm laughing because I remember the first time I think I was taking you to my house, and like just how I was like, y'all drive like so like cautiously and everything like that, and I was raised with my mom. I'm a lead foot. I'm just like, nope, speed limit says 45, you go 60. No, those are the rules. I'm just like, so I was driving down the hill and she was like, we're gonna die. I'm like, are you okay? Like,
are you serious? That was your reaction? Like, why am I reacting like that?
Yeah, I was like, you good? I was like, bro, like it's just a hill. That was a roller coaster hill though. It's like, my mom hasn't going down that fast since I was a child, and I was like, whee! I didn't realize it was a scary thing to do.
But I meant more like each other's like personality,
You're right.
How they're brought up.
That was just the first thing I thought.
Those type of things.
I'm sorry.
If you spend time in that, you also get like a lot of wisdom and knowledge from each other's parents, from their elders, and that's also really good for your marriage. Also talk about finances before the wedding day. You should talk about how you spend your money, if you have any debt, because that person needs to know what they're getting into.
That is really important.
And how you guys would like to set up a system of payments, who will pay the bills, who's making the money, things of that nature. That's really important, so that once you guys have your own place, you guys are functioning as a unit, as a system, then those systems are in place and it could go smoothly.
Learn how to budget for a month-to-month basis as well too. Like, okay, like this is what's after like you spend money for like a whole month, like they could give you like a better idea of what exactly you're spending on, and then you can adjust accordingly. Like, hey, we spend this much for Starbucks, we spend this much for rent, we spend this much for Starbucks, we also spend this much for entertainment and everything, internet. We also spend this much for Starbucks too. Wink, wink. I don't know if you're getting the message here, but just saying.
I got it.
Yeah, so then you find out that, you know, like 90% of your budget went to matcha green tea lattes.
And please give us a like for this video, because it really helps out the algorithm to know this video is actually helpful, and it'll help out my channel a lot. And last but not least, subscribe and hit the bell notification, because it will really help my channel out. And hopefully it will give you more knowledge and tips that will help you guys in the future.
Okay. That being said, thanks for tuning in. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Oh.
Bro, you do that every time.
I'm so sorry. Say it again, say it again.
Alrighty. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.